Today, on Be Something Wonderful, manifest it so fast it's scary. Neville Goddard's NOT Technique. I am your host, Tom Kearin, and this is the Be Something Wonderful studio of higher consciousness, where we help you level up and become the best version of yourself. Creators, welcome back and good morning from the studios of Be Something Wonderful here in Las Vegas. Big video for you today. It's coming a little later because it's based on 2 early morning sessions where we were talking about the idea of releasing attachment to the outcome, dropping the importance to allow it to manifest, for allow you to have that physical experience, right? In one case, I talked to this client about a little over 2.5 weeks ago. And she was talking about she really wants her to get married to her boyfriend, or at least him to get serious. And she was feeling, she's been manifesting abundance and money, but feeling the opposite of that, right? Seeing the opposite of that. So we talked about those ideas. And she goes, so Tom, how do I detach from the outcome? How do I release resistance to this? Because I feel like I'm affirming it, but I'm focused on the lack of it. We talked about these ideas. And in that conversation, the idea of Neville Goddard's teaching, when he teaches the idea of I will climb a ladder, right? He teaches this idea of imagining yourself climbing a ladder, creating that imaginal scene. This is the core of his teachings, a state akin to sleep. He also teaches the idea of write or affirm, I will not climb a ladder. After that, right? After your imaginal scene, start affirming, I will not climb a ladder. This idea, this is brilliant, because remember, we're going to talk about what he's getting at here. Because that power within you, that great subconscious, your subconscious mind, that creative medium, does not pay attention to the not. It pays attention to the contents of the ladder. So what you're really saying, what you're really aware of, or what you're focused on, is climbing the ladder. This is the power. What does that do when you say, I will not climb the ladder? Or in her case, I said, just say, I'm not married. I don't want to get married. I don't need to get married. I don't have money. I don't need money. I don't want money. It releases it detaches you immediately from the outcome. You drop the importance. Remember, this isn't coming from a state of lack. This is coming from a state of fulfillment. Coming from a state that you know your source. You know you've imagined it and assumed it. So there's nothing else you need to do. The way to drop importance is to say, okay, I will not climb the ladder. I don't need the money. I don't have money. I don't want to get engaged. That changed everything. He started talking about getting serious, about being married eventually. I'm getting tingles when I talk about this, right? And then she had unexpected money come in. One where a trip was paid for, another one where her grandparents gave her some money. Money's coming to her because she's not holding on to anything anymore. Like A Course in Miracles says, hold on to nothing. Your source. So you don't need to want anything. You don't need anything. You don't want anything. You don't have to have anything. You drop that importance. That was the brilliance of Neville Goddard's teaching of saying, I will not climb a ladder, right? Remember, what's the key to all of this? The first key is consciousness or awareness is inclusive. It's an inclusive universe. It's an inclusive infinity. Infinity includes everything. Not, or I am not, doesn't exist. So it doesn't focus on the notness. We do. Your consciousness focuses on the ladder, the money, the engagement. That's why it's called all that is. Notness doesn't exist in all that is. All that is all that is. Whether you say yes or no, or I will not, the answer or the outcome is always yes. It's always I will. That's what that greater consciousness focuses on. It's always yes. Your awareness is on climbing the ladder. And your awareness is the only reality. It's not on not climbing the ladder. Not does not exist in infinity, in all that is. So you're focused on climbing the ladder. What did you do there? You released resistance. You dropped the importance. You detached from the outcome. This is powerful. We're going to talk about these ideas today and more. I am not, I don't want, I don't have. Well, not is ignored by that greater consciousness because notness is impossible. It's just I am, I want, and I have. The divine mind, that great subconscious, only is aware of what is. So what's the second key then? The second key is the power is in the not technique is the release of attachment to and importance on the desired outcome. It's that detachment, dropping the importance. It means nothing, right? As the Chosen says, it means nothing. I'm fulfilled no matter what. I don't need to get married. I don't want to get married. I don't need money. I don't want money. And I imagine and assume and choose it. But then you move to that idea that I don't need it, right? You drop it. You start affirming, I don't have money. I'm not married. When you release the resistance, this is powerful. I don't need, remember in The Chosen, in that movie scene that I talk about in the pool of Bethesda from that TV show on Netflix, The Chosen, Jesus says to the paralyzed man, you don't need this pool, you only need me. You don't need anything. It's complete detachment. It's dropping importance. Now you can get up, grab your mat, and walk because you're no longer attached to it. You're saying, I don't have money. I don't need money. I don't want money. In the meantime, what's that greater subconscious focused on? The money, not the notness. That's powerful. Remember, God will not be mocked. So you might say, well, then I can use it to say, yeah, you could say I don't have money, but if your focus is on the lack of that money still, then you're still creating the reality of lack, the reality of not having things, of wanting things but not having them, not getting them. So God will not be out. You only manifest, see, receive, and become who and what you're conscious of being. There is no other law, right? So you don't manifest what you want and need necessarily, but who and what you're conscious of being. That's the real source. It's not what you need and want. It's who and what you're conscious of being. So when she moved to this affirmation that I don't need to be engaged, I don't want to be engaged, I don't need the money, I don't want the money, she released the attachment to it so that money could come in, so that engagement and that marriage is in those plans. So everything moves according to who and what you're aware of being. She was no longer aware of the lack of it. She was aware of the fulfillment of it. So she knows that she's fulfilled. Standing in that conviction, she knows she can say that I don't need it, I don't want it, I don't have it. Knowing that she's complete and fulfilled right now, right? Remember, there's outrageous, insane power in not needing anything. Wow. Not needing anything. That's power, right? It doesn't mean you can't choose experiences. It's just that you don't need them to be complete, right? And nothing being more or less important. There's a lot of power there in needing and not needing anything or needing nothing. And nothing being more and less important, dropping the importance. In other words, it means nothing. Like Jesus said to the paralyzed man at the pool of Bethesda, it means nothing. That's when you manifest or receive it, because you are saying the word, I am already complete, fulfilled. That's the power and paradox in the not technique. That you're really saying, the substance behind it is that I am complete, that I already have that money, that I'm already engaged, that I don't need anything. That all those realities exist within me, right? Because many times we think, well, if I use the not technique, aren't I affirming that I don't have it? But remember, God will not be mocked. You're releasing the attachment to it. You're releasing the resistance, right? You're releasing the needing and the wanting and the have to having. And when you do that, everything is already yours, so it must come. You've had these experiences, right? Where when you're no longer focused on it, it manifests. Or no longer focused on it, you get it. When you no longer have that importance or detachment or attachment to it, it manifests. You experience it. That's the power in this not technique. I don't want creates a reality of what you don't want. Do you see it? It creates that reality. When you say, well, I don't want that, coming from a state of lack, coming from a state of non-fulfillment, from a state of aversion, wanting to get rid of something. Because remember, it's an inclusive universe. It only hears or focuses on the thing that you don't want. And so that's why many times you experience those things that you don't want, because your focus is on that thing, right? Not on not having a thing, but that thing being there. You can't exclude anything. It's an inclusive universe. This is one of the fundamental laws, right? That everything, all that is, just is, right? The subconscious focuses on the contents, not the context. So you might say, I don't want that, but the needing and not wanting it, or needing something and wanting something, that's not what it's focused on. It's focused on the thing of who and what you're aware of being. Who and what you're aware of. If you're aware of the lack of it, if you're aware of that you don't have it, that's what you create. It's like saying, don't think of pink elephants. Well, you think of pink elephants. Do you see it? It doesn't focus on the don't. Don't climb the ladder. You focus on climbing the ladder. That's what's happening here. The NOT technique releases need, attachment, doubt, fear, and importance created by your lower mind, and speaks directly to that greater creative subconscious or consciousness. Do you see it? Because as soon as you say, well, I don't need money, I don't want money, and I don't have money, well, then that greater consciousness, your mind starts saying, well, maybe you do have money. The money's already there. Of course you have money. Do you see it? It always goes back to that idea that that's how it works. That money in abundance, it's already there. So as you release your attachment to it, as you release the needing and wanting, then it must manifest. I am not, I don't have, I don't want, comes from detachment and fulfillment versus from lack and need. When you say this, I am not, because we talked about the idea that I am not doesn't exist. Remember, notness doesn't exist. Non-existence doesn't exist. So when you say that, you're really saying I am, right? When you say I don't have, you're really saying I have. When you say I don't want, you're really saying I want. That is mine, right? It comes from detachment and fulfillment versus lack and need. That's powerful. Do you see it? You release the wanting. You release the needing. You release the attachment to it immediately with this I will not climb the ladder technique, the NOT technique introduced by Neville Goddard. It's so powerful. It's one of the, remember, he didn't teach it necessarily as a technique. He was teaching the ladder technique. Imagine yourself climbing the ladder. And then he added this idea to affirm I will not climb the ladder, knowing that you're going to doubt, there's going to be some doubt there, right? That you're going to get there's going to be some attachment to the outcome of climbing that ladder. The way you release that, the way you detach from it, was to say, I will not climb the ladder, right? Remember, that greater consciousness only focuses on the contents, the ladder, not the context of I will not climb it. Right? It doesn't focus on the no or the not. I have lots of money. You create attachment and doubt, right? I am wealthy, right? I want lots of money. I need lots of money, right? When you're affirming that, now there's nothing wrong with positive affirmations. When you're not attached, when you're not looking for it and waiting for it. But many times when we affirm I have lots of money, I am wealthy, I am engaged, I am married, whatever it is you want, I'm living in my dream house. It translates into this idea, I want lots of money, I need lots of money. It comes from this awareness that you don't have it, that you're looking for it and you're waiting for it. You start looking out there. But with the NOT technique, you're no longer looking out there. You're no longer waiting for it and looking for it. Do you see that? It releases all that. It releases the lack. The NOT technique comes from conviction and fulfillment, right? I don't have lots of money. I don't want lots of money. I'm not wealthy. Now you're playing in that idea that I'm source. So I don't have lots of money. I don't want lots of money. I'm not wealthy, right? Now, remember, that greater subconscious focuses on the wealth, the money, lots of money, right? Your consciousness goes to work to show you that you already have it all. right? It goes to work. Imagine, assume, and choose it, and then move to the I need nothing. That is the whole basis of the I am not technique. Shockingly fast movement, right? And this client, that a client after that this morning was also talking about this idea. She was asking me, why does it seem like when I don't care about something and when I'm not thinking about it that it comes? Well, that's why. Because it's like using the I am not technique. I don't need it. I don't need anything. I don't even want to get married. I don't want it. I don't need it, right? I'm not wealthy. I'm not married. Well, then you release that whole resistance to it because you've already imagined it. You've already chosen it. You've already affirmed it. You've already assumed it, right? Assume, imagine, and choose it, and then move to the I need nothing. It becomes effortless when you detach from the outcome and just assume it's yours, right? Assume it's yours and then let that greater consciousness go to work on it. Release that attachment. I know it can seem anti-intuitive or counterintuitive, right? Counterintuitive to affirm I am not. That's the brilliance of that technique, right? That's the brilliance because we have some conscious doubts, right? We're consciously, we're looking out there, right? We're focused on the external. This removes that. You no longer have to look for it. You don't have to worry about, you don't have to no longer look out there and affirm that you don't have it. You just say, I don't have it. I'm not married. I don't even need it. I don't even want it. That's when it all comes. But that's coming from a place of fulfillment. It's come from a place of knowing that you're source. And that as source, you don't need anything. And as source energy, as source of everything you want, as the creator of your own reality, you don't want for anything, you don't need anything, and you don't hold on to anything because you create it, right? Saying I don't have, I don't want, I will not, I am not from the knowing, hear this, that you are all that is, from fulfillment and unity and not lack and separation, that's the difference, is a game changer. It communicates absolute trust and faith in that greater consciousness that you are, right? You're communicating with the higher you, your higher self, saying, I trust you. I know that when I say I don't want something, or I don't have something, or I'm not, coming from the knowing that you are all that is, that comes from fulfillment and unity. You're releasing the resistance. Some of you don't need that. You can imagine it, declare it, affirm it, and move to it. But if you're feeling some resistance, if you're feeling some doubt, right? If it hasn't been coming and you've been imagining it and using what you would call, quote, positive I am affirmations, try this because it moves you immediately because you're doing it from the knowing. Now you're playing in reality. Do you see it? Have fun. That's why all spiritual teachers talk about this idea. Find the fun. Find the excitement, right? Be ecstatic about your life and your creations and that you're source, right? That's why Neville Goddard talks about this idea that when you're ecstatic about things, then you can't possibly feel non-fulfilled or non-fulfillment, right? Remember, this communicates absolute trust. Remember that I don't have, I don't want, I will not, or I am not, from the idea that in the knowing that you are all that is, comes from fulfillment and unity with it, not from the lack and separation of it, right? Remember, God will not be mocked. So knowing your desires or desire exists in your imagination, simply expect its fulfillment in the outer world. That's what Neville Goddard, perfectly said by Neville Goddard. Knowing that your desire exists in your imagination, imagine it, assume it, and then simply expect its fulfillment in the outer world, right? And if you are feeling some resistance, if you are feeling some doubt, just affirm, well, I don't need it. I don't even want it. I don't have it. That's it. You've already imagined it. And then watch how fast it comes in. I will not climb the ladder. That technique that Neville introduced is insanely powerful. And it moves you immediately to everything you want. Manifest so fast it's scary. Neville Goddard's NOT Technique. I am your host, Tom Kearin, and this is the Be Something Wonderful studio of higher consciousness, where we help you level up and become the best version of yourself. Creators, thank you. Thank you for being with us. Thank you for liking and sharing and commenting on the videos. Thank you for being part of our Facebook group, the Be Something Wonderful ambassadors at facebook.com/groups/Be Something Wonderful, for joining us on Instagram and Twitter at Tom Kearin, and for being part of our membership channel. We just released a powerful video a few days ago on the membership channel. We have our live stream coming up for a week from Sunday at 9 a.m. in the morning, Pacific Coast Standard Time, on the membership channel. I'm going to be coming to you live with the questions and topics that you've been sending to us at info@besomethingwonderful.com. If you're a member, be sure to join us. If you're not, check out the link below. Creators with great love, with great light and infinite gratitude, this is Tom Kearin here in the studios of Be Something Wonderful. Until next time, we'll see you soon.